Welcome back to the Christian Record, and today we're going to be continuing our tribute to the band Petra and their release of new music. If you hadn't heard, they're releasing new music after all these years, and we'll be doing a song spotlight today on the song Lucas McGraw. And this is off of their first album back in 1974, self-entitled album Petra. It was on Myrrh Records. And there'll be some people who I guess are familiar with Petra who may be only familiar with them for the John Schlitt era. And then there'll be others who go a little bit farther back and are familiar with Petra through the Greg X. Volz years. But very few probably go clear back to the formative years when it was both Bob Hartman and Greg Huff sharing the vocals on this first album. Now, the album itself is very bluesy. Guitar harmonies had styling similar to that of like the Allman Brothers. And today's song, however, is completely different than anything on that album and anything that they would ever do again. And in fact, probably even after I've gone over the song and played parts of it, you'll still probably say there is no way this is Petra. But this is Lucas McGraw off of their first album, Petra. So this song delves into the bluegrass arena and definitely has its sense of humor to it as well. Now, Bob Hartman, being the lyricist, weaves pretty much a simple tale that has profound meaning still for those of us today. That's why I would still encourage you to go listen to it and feel encouraged by the message that it gives. Now, in summary, the song is about a man named Lucas McGraw, and he gives his life to Jesus, and everybody in town notices. And they see how much he has changed and how much Christ and the Holy Spirit have affected his life. And obviously that's the way it should be for every person that has an encounter with Jesus Christ, that their life is changed, that they are transformed in a way that others can see the difference through the reading of His Word and through the Holy Spirit in their lives, that a change is noticed by everybody. So let's take a closer look at this song and specifically some of the lyrics and even just some of the other humorous notes we'll take a look at. So the song starts with a spoken introduction from the perspective of one of Lucas McGraw's old friends, and you know that it's different right away because there's some noises of pigs in the background and like some banjo strumming and things like that. So hillbillies kind of style laughing and that kind of stuff carrying on. And if the pig sounds aren't enough, the speaker begins this tale by talking about hurling a dead carcass. He says, "I picked that old boy up and I gave her a sail." So these guys are definitely having a good old time. And then, of course, someone asks this guy, what's going on with Lucas McGraw? And he says, "Well, ain't you heard? That boy's been acting mighty strange. Mighty strange." And then, of course, it starts off with a nice, good guitar strum letting you know the song's going to start. And it says, "Lucas McGraw, what's come over you? We're beginning to think you're touched," which would be, kind of a reference to, the spiritual nature of it. That something is definitely off, whether it be touched by God in this case, or touched by something else that just took over you and made you turn into something strange. But then, of course, it clarifies that we heard you got religion. And so, we think in terms of how we view it, is that, we have an encounter with God and with Jesus Christ, and, we ask Him into our lives and we have this relationship with Him. But from the perspective of the friends, they just think, oh yeah, it's that religion thing. And we even kind of have that conversation today, the difference between religion as organized religion or something more personal, that personal relationship we have with Jesus Christ. So as in most of the song, it becomes a list of the things that Lucas McGraw has changed in his life. And it says he threw away his corn cob pipe, so he was smoking. It says that he threw away his moonshine jug, so he's not drinking anymore. He's been shaving every day. He stopped chasing women, which is interesting because the next line says that he kissed his wife today. So he has a wife, and even though he has a wife, he's still been chasing women. So he stopped chasing women and he kissed his wife. So he's doing the right thing with his marriage. And then it talks about he went to church on Sunday. And not only did he just go and sit on the back pew, no, he went and even talked to the preacher. He shook the preacher's hand. And then it kind of gives the kicker there. It says he's been talking about a home beyond this land. And so he apparently has this hope and future that is now in a different place than just, here on earth and going to work and coming home and spending time with his buddies. He has more to live for. And not only that, but he's sharing it. So people have been listening and he's been talking about it. So it's very important to him. That's what we do. When things become important to us, we share it to those around us. So he's sharing the gospel with others and what his relationship has meant for him. And then, of course, we have a great guitar, mandolin, banjo solo that starts out with a voice saying "Picket Boy." So then, as it comes back in with the singing and the song, it begins that list again of the things that he's changed in his life. It says he stopped cussing, he stopped fighting, feuding with others, kind of using like a reference to like the feud between the Hatfields, McCoys kind of a thing. It says he took a bath or takes a bath each Sunday. And then they kind of humorously add whether he needs it or not. Today we would say, of course you need it. But to them, it's like, maybe he doesn't need it, maybe he does. But he's going to take it either way. And then it says he even goes to work on Monday, even if it's hot. And that's basically a reference to Lucas now has integrity in his life. He's got this job, he's supporting his family, he's doing the things he's supposed to do. And so he's going to go to work, whether it's cold, hot, no matter how he feels, he's going to get up and do what he's supposed to do. So he's got integrity in his life now. And then the song brings it home. See, in the end, these friends, kind of talking about maybe laughing at him a little bit, but deep inside, they're wondering if there's more to it and if maybe the things that they see, they should be making a change in themselves as well. Because they say, we've all been wondering, is it really God you feel? So people are always watching you to see if what you have is genuine. And that's basically the way it is today. Unfortunately, many might even be hoping that you fail or that you screw up so that they don't have to be confronted with making a change themselves. Because if it was really real, then they might have to do something about it. So they're hoping, no, maybe this is only temporary. Maybe this isn't actually a real thing. And but if we live with integrity and if we share what we know and how God has transformed our lives, then we might just even reach the most cynical among us. And then, of course, the song has to end on a humorous note as the pig from the beginning starts squealing because a gunshot rings out. So someone's basically shooting at the pig, and I guess the pig survived because he goes off running and squealing. But you definitely want to go check out this song and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And I'm sure it will still have you asking, is that really Petra? Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.